right, how is everybody today?
Very well, how about you?
Good. So we are here at 3425 Fieldstone Lane. We are in Painted Post, New York, and I'm sitting down with the Costello Team. Well, part of it. We're missing a couple.
We're missing one, yeah.
So this is Jules Costello and Valerie Clark. So Jules has been doing real estate for 18 plus years, and she started in Long Island, and you relocated up to New York about when?
It's 9 years ago, 9 years ago and some, yeah.
Almost 10 years
I
already.
can't believe it.
So I wanted to sit down with these ladies because they have literally blown the market away with your expertise and everything you guys have done. It's just been fantastic to watch you guys grow year after year after year. Valerie is 3-year mark, right?
This August will be 3 years.
3 years, and you just got licensed in PA.
Yep.
So you can do New York, PA, and you started real estate after you bought your house because you're like, I can do this job. And then you met up with Jules and joined her team, and you've been going ever since. You haven't stopped. So that's been awesome to see. So that's really why I wanted to sit down with you guys, kind of give the audience out there some expertise about our market specifically. We hear a lot on the news about the trends with real estate, and it doesn't always pertain to this area because that's national things they're talking about, and we kind of live in a bubble here where not everything always is the same as it would be in Arizona or California. So what I wanted to talk about today is, the one thing is what is happening in our market right now, like globally here, that you could let the public know that maybe somebody that's kind of on edge of buying or selling, they don't have to be fearful.
Right.
Like, it's still a good market.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we did see a little bit of a lull from October to probably January, I'd say, where, interest rates kind of spiked a little bit, which sent people into like a holding pattern. I think they just kind of put the brakes on real estate things. And I think honestly, they got a little bit, it was a frenzy for a few years. So I think they just kind of put it on hold and said, I'm kind of done with real estate for a little while. And then right in the end of January, early February, we started to see a pickup in business. I think people realized that interest rates are staying where they are. They kind of leveled out, stayed at this spot for a bit, and they just said, well, if I'm going to get back in this market, then I'm just going to do it. I'm going to dive in. So February has definitely seen an uptick in sellers coming out saying they're going to list, buyers coming out saying I'm ready to buy. I've had a few open houses in the last few weeks, and they've been extremely busy. So that's a really good sign.
So that's a great sign.
Yeah.
So you're seeing more buyers getting back into the market, and hopefully more listings will be coming on as well. It's a great time for people to sell right now because the inventory is low. So if you want to list your house and it's ready to go, I mean, it's going to be gone in what are you looking at, 2 days? Was it usually an offer, 3 days maybe?
Yeah, we're hoping it stays that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty positive. With such low inventory, the chances of selling it faster are definitely there.
Yeah, that's great. That's great news for our area. So the next question that I wanted to talk to you guys about is buying a home when you're a single person. A lot of people say, well, I don't want to buy yet because I want to wait till I find my partner. What's your experience in that? I know I deal with a lot of single people, first-time home buyers buying a house or whatever the case may be, or they went through a separation and now they're back single and they want to go buy a house. I know you deal with a lot of single buyers. What's your take on that?
Well, I bought my first home 8 years ago, and I bought it by myself. I was a single mom, and at the end of the day, owning a home is part of the American dream, right? That was my goal.
Right.
And so I hunkered down. I spoke to a loan officer, got the to-do list, and that was my goal. So it's absolutely possible. Jules and I talked a little bit about it this morning. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers, and I wouldn't say that we see it frequently, but it is picking up in regards to single individuals, whether it be single women, single men, maybe couples that aren't necessarily married, but they want to invest in themselves. And real estate is ultimately the best investment that anybody can make.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. I mean, versus the renting in our area right now, getting into a home, even though rates aren't where they were, a few years ago, I'm still running numbers for people and seeing that their mortgages are still less than what they would pay to a landlord. And we always talk about, we see the memes all over the place. Rent is at the rate of 100%. You know, so you don't like the 6, I get it. You know, we got spoiled for a few years. However, if you don't own your home, then you're paying 100% to somebody else's pocket. So, I mean, it's definitely good that people are starting to really understand that and coming out and doing that, whether they're single or not, or whether they're married. I mean, just having your own home and having that is the American dream. So,
And I think too, Kathleen, you had said you were in our own little bubble, right, in this area. And I think Jules can contest as well, from a rental standpoint, there's not many out there.
no.
And so just like low inventory with houses, we're seeing extremely low inventory for rentals, which drives that price.
Yeah. So if you had somebody that was thinking about selling, what would you say to them right now? If, you know, tap on that a little bit more, by getting people to maybe list their house that are kind of, you know, want to time the market or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, so I just actually had a few of those conversations with sellers, you know, calling and saying, well, we want to sell, but, you know, explain to us really what we should be doing, a game plan. And I tell them, you know, right now, you don't have the competition that the next few months are going to have. There's going to be a lot more sellers coming into the market, and you're going to be sharing that market space with them. So by listing right now, you're going to have that to yourself. The searches that are done now for what's available, there's a handful in each town, in each price range. So there's really, and buyers are just waiting.
Yeah.
They're waiting for the houses to come on to make offers on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So really now is kind of almost crucial time. You know, you're gonna get in before anybody else, and you may have, you know, a bidding war.
Exactly.
So you may have 5 or 6.
Just for lack of inventory.
Right.
Exactly.
Right, so if they wait, let's say maybe May or June, then like you just said, they're gonna have to share that.
They're gonna lose that.
Hopefully we have a lot more listings at that point, but
Yeah.
again, like Jules said, now you're sharing that market space
Yeah.
with
so,
other sellers.
So now it really is the time to do it.
Right.
You don't have the
Keep your house on
competition.
the market and.
Yeah. I mean, it's 65 degrees out today. Buyers
Yeah.
are out and about.
Yeah, who would've
It's
known?
fever. Yeah.
I guess I should check the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful today. I mean, who would have thought in February, right? I mean, it's gorgeous today. So.
And I
Yes,
think
it
too,
is.
on the flip side, you know, not just for sellers, but for buyers as well, is that as we come into the spring market, which is notoriously our busy time, right? That we've seen an uptick in buyers, which is a good sign. But if you're looking to buy, now's the time, because you don't have as much competition as you're going to have in April,
Yep.
May, June, when we have these buyers that are, you know, maybe waiting for tax refunds or whatever it may be. Now's that peak time, I think, for
Yeah.
both buyers and sellers.
Absolutely, I agree with
And
that.
it's a small window and it's closing rapidly.
Yes. It is.
I can't believe it's already the middle of February, so.
It's definitely picked up, that's for sure. So is there anything else that you think everyone out there should know? Is there any other tips that we should go over?
You know, just a little bit about us. So we're a team of 3. Gino, my husband, is also a part of the team, and this is our full-time jobs. These are our careers. So we take, you know, our business very seriously. We like to set ourselves apart from other realtors, just simply by what we offer, our strategy, our marketing plan, how we do business. So
No, you guys definitely do a very good job as far as marketing, but also the follow through, the details that you send in the beginning to everybody that's involved in the transaction. When you send an email, everyone gets it. I mean, it definitely makes our job as loan officers very easy. We know who's on each side, you know, whether it's the attorney, the buyer, the sellers, everybody's always CC'd in your email. So that's definitely huge on our side. We love that. So
Well, in the process, buying or selling a house, clear and concise communication across the board is important. And I think that's something that both Jules and I pride ourselves on, whether it be with a loan officer such as yourself or clients, but even between Jules and I. I mean, if we go a day without talking, it's like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, I hope she's okay without talking, you know?
sure.
yeah.
So with us as a team, it's key
Yeah.
to ensure that we know what's going on with everybody that we are servicing.
But you're also accessible. That's
Yes.
what is great about
Even
you
on
too.
vacation.
Even in Mexico.
Even in Mexico after 5 plane rides. But I know personally texting you guys late at night or on weekends, if I need an answer to get the file to move forward, you're always accessible. And that's huge. I mean, when you need an answer to get the loan to the next step, you need people to respond. And I know that's one thing great about your team, is you're always via text or via email, you're always right on it. So that's huge.
Yeah. I know we also wanted to touch on how important it is to get pre-qualified.
Okay.
That is something that we're finding a lot more often. Just just stressing the importance of having your pre-approval. Again, going back to that super fast-paced market right now and the shortage of inventory, it's so important for buyers to have that pre-approval in hand and have it ready to go. So if they love a house, they're ready to proceed to make an offer. There's so many times where we watch a heartbroken buyer that did not, follow the advice and have that ready, got into a house that they loved, and then got beaten out by somebody else who was prepared. So
yeah, I mean, and I definitely think it's great too. It's not, when a client comes and gets the pre-approval, we dissect everything, look at everything to see what they truly qualify for. And some people are spot on, they know exactly what they can afford, and others don't. And then that's okay, but that's why we're here. But you don't want to go out and show somebody, like you just said, a $300,000 house when they can only afford maybe $180,000, and then they're left heartbroken because they just saw a house that they love too. So there's that side of it as well, as being prepared, definitely financially, like know exactly what your payment's gonna be, how much you'll need at closing, because people forget that New York State and the taxes and everything that goes into buying a house. So that's something that, you're teaming up with your loan officer and having good communication like you guys do, that person will send you that cash and close worksheet so you can help the buyers kind of figure out their budget.
exactly.
So I know, like with Val and I always CC her in on every cash and close worksheet I send to the client, so she's well aware of what numbers I'm running for people.
That's very helpful.
Absolutely, and it helps me as well to be able to explain to that client if they have questions, so they're not always trying to bug you either, right? Because I mean, we spend a lot of time with our clients, so we build that rapport, and so sometimes we're able to explain a little bit where they're not.
Well, they definitely put a little bit more trust in what you guys say because you do spend so much time with them. With us, it's kind of, they either come in for an hour or we talk via phone, and it's a little bit different, You guys go to multiple houses and sometimes it's not just a few weeks, it's sometimes months or years. And
so how long, Kathleen, would you say, just for those watching this, if they're thinking about it, how long does that typical pre-approval process take?
Well, it depends. Honestly, if you're willing to upload the documents, your pay stubs, your W-2, so I can verify income and your assets, I can get it done typically in 20 minutes, 30 minutes if it's online. In person, it's usually about an hour because people will have questions and we'll go through everything thoroughly. And if you want to apply online and then do Zoom or something afterwards, we can do that as well. But it's not a long process. It's just really verifying the income. That's a crucial part that a lot of people don't want to take the time to upload their documents. However, I'm not going to do a pre-approval unless I see their income because I don't want them heartbroken. And I also don't want you guys out there wasting your time on somebody that isn't truly qualified.
I think we can all say that we appreciate that more than anything, right?
Yes. I mean, it's they've changed a lot of guidelines and things like that, and I'm not going to bore the public with that detail, but it's definitely crucial that we see that income information now more than ever.
Right.
I mean, it's with variable income, you gotta give us the documents. But yeah, we can get it done super fast. And like you guys, I make myself accessible on nights and weekends. I do that for working when you guys work. So if you need me, I'm basically on call because
all the time,
all the
24/7.
I am.
It's so important.
I need to find like balance. I gotta figure that out. So we talked about the pre-approval process, right? So I did run some numbers on this house. So I did the VA loan. So if you are a veteran, no money down and no seller's concessions, which I can go over in more detail if you have questions on that. You would actually need just $19,000 to buy a $400,000 house in painted posts, which is huge. And your monthly payment would only be $3,591 for VA loan. So that's really good for this house. Like, this is beautiful.
It's a beautiful home.
So, and then now that they've increased the loan amount for FHA does qualify to buy houses now in the $400,000 price range, which is huge. We've never been able to do that, so this is exciting. So just with 3.5% down, that's it. For a $400,000 house, you just have to come up with 3.5 down. So with all the fees, down payment, closing costs, everything, you would only need $34,349, which is awesome. Like, that's nothing to buy a $400,000 house.
I know, it's like a fraction. It's like pennies on the dollar.
That's like great. And then that payment does have PMI, which VAs do not. So that payment would only be $3,731. And when I'm talking about the payment, that includes everything, taxes, homeowners insurance, and everything. So that's really great. And conventional only has to be 5% down. You do not have to do 20 like you hear here all the
I was
time.
gonna say, it's probably one of the most common myths, right?
It's
You gotta have
most common.
20% down to
You
buy a house.
do, and I do it all the time. Nope, you don't. You can do it with 5.
Yep.
So just 5% down and all the closing fees would roughly be around $40,382. So that's not bad at all. And that payment would roughly be around $3,524. So, I mean, this house is located at 3425 Fieldstone Lane in Painted Post, and it's only $399.9. And it is, I believe I wrote down, it's almost, is it over 4,000 square feet or
About 2,800.
2,800?
The whole basement's unfinished.
Okay, so the basement
Yeah.
is unfinished.
Yeah.
So that's probably where you could go up to 4.
Exactly.
So all of this for $399.9. How can you beat
It's a steal.
that? And those payments are awesome. It's conveniently located.
Right in
It's
Oregon.
right in Oreen. You go down the hill, there's Walmart, there's fields all around.
The views are spectacular from here. You see
oh my
morning at
gosh,
night,
they
the
are
lights.
beautiful out here, they are.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you both so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, we'd love to come back maybe sometime through the summer and
Okay,
kind of do an update.
Yeah, we'll do an update. That sounds
Yeah.
great. Thank you
Perfect.
both for taking the time out. So,
Thank you.
all right, if you guys have any questions, all of their information will be at the end of the video as well as mine. So have a great day.
Thank you.